when you start. You don't think you plan so far.
On the 2nd of February 1981, Duran Duran dropped the lifestyle and pop music bomb on planet Earth. 40 years later, a global community of lovers is celebrating a band crossing artistic expressions, anticipating trends, and influencing generations of musicians. A band who defined an era. Welcome to My Duran 40 Live, a special Winter One edition dedicated to Planet Earth, first and prophetic Duran Duran single. The format aims to reverse the roles between the fans and the band. They will be with us in spirit, and for once will play the role of the listeners. A selection of Duran Duran lovers will have the chance to tell their heroes directly what they represented for them and the impact they had in their lives.
So today I have the pleasure to have with me two dear friends, fans and professionals that are involved with music from Naples. Christian Antonio, which is a director of the Way magazine and a music journalist. Thank you, Christian, for being with me today.
Thank you for having me, Tiziana.
It's a pleasure.
For organizing.
Thank you so much. You know how difficult it is. Because Christian has been organizing the birthday celebration for John Taylor earlier last year.
We did with a bunch of Italian celebrities celebrating the mighty John Taylor.
So thank you, Christian. And for the other friend is Roberto Gianbanco, who is the drummer of the Skin Trade, which is a tribute band of Duran Duran. And so good afternoon, Roberto.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We are going to comment some video notes from other fans, and I think I would like to start with one other member of the Skin Trade band, which is not Long Life Fan, but I think he has a very nice and sensitive contribution to this special edition of We Tour One. Massimo Cicatello, please.
Ciao, sono Massimo Cicatello e suono negli Skin Trade, una tribute band ai Duran Duran. Io ho diciamo suonato diversi generi, però quello che mi ha sempre attratto dei Duran è la loro capacità di tenere insieme creatività e ricerca del semplice. Anzi, Duran Duran rientrano proprio tra quelle esperienze che mi hanno in fondo insegnato che dietro quello che è semplice c'è sempre una fatica, un gesto creativo, in particolare anche nel tentativo di riprodurre le partiture di Andy Taylor, di Warren Coccurullo, e la domanda che mi ha guidato è stata proprio sempre la stessa, cioè qual è la soluzione più semplice. Semplice non significa appunto più facile, ma significa proprio scegliere la cosa giusta. Ecco, i Duran Duran in fondo mi pare che siano essenzialmente questo, cioè sanno cogliere il semplice delle cose e addirittura fanno emergere quella dimensione di ovvio, di ovvietà che però proprio per la sua bellezza tende a nascondersi e a custodirsi. Ecco, questo per me sono i Duran.
I think it's a very nice and deep, analysis of Duran Duran music, like in a very abstract way. What do you think, Christian?
He's right when he's talking about the simplicity, because they are very simple songs and at the same time very complex patterns that match together. And for the first 5 years of the career, I guess there was a very distinctive role of each of the members of the band, and that was the music director. Because you had the synthesizers and the guitars playing, a sort of an accordion with the melody of the voice, and then you had this incredible rhythm section that almost all of the bands had. But in this particular band was very highlighted by two very impressive and young, ambitious players. And so that's why it made the things very easy and very simple. And then when they started losing band members and they started, to accommodate producers from different areas, that's when things got more complicated and maybe even more complex. But that led to the maturity of the sound.
Yeah, no, he's right, because what Andy Taylor did for the music of the first 3 albums was something that is still on. So the big hits were exactly made, but with Andy Taylor on guitar.
Yeah,
so it's
I mean, I talked to Dave Ambrose, that is the man who signed the band in 1980. And because we at the Way magazine, we published a 40th anniversary special, and he generously contributed to the special. And he said, the real reason why they made it big in America is because they had a guitar. And you didn't hear that much guitar in Spandau Ballads or A Flock of Seagulls songs. But maybe yes, but not in that extent. I mean, some early songs are very much guitar driven. And it's very unusual for 80s pop. So that's the balance between the electronic and guitar. That's what made them big.
Yeah, the combination between the funk and the pop and some heavy, say, guitars from Andy Taylor was a very special mix. So thank you, Christian.
The next video
is from Michelangelo Iossa, which is a journalist, a music journalist and a writer.
Hello everybody, I'm Michelangelo, I'm from Naples, Italy, and happy birthday to Planet Earth. Wow, 40th anniversary. Happy birthday to Duran Duran. And this message is mainly to John and Nick. I discovered the music of Duran Duran when I was 9 years old in 1983, because my schoolmate, and he's still today my best friend Marcello, gave to me Duran Duran and Rio, the first LPs by Duran Duran, and I fell in love with their music, with the bass lines of John Taylor, with the synthesizer solutions of Nick Rhodes. And congratulations for your lifetime achievement from Roland. And we discovered, me and Marcello, that Nick and John were schoolmates, so this was a clue, an ingredient, a very important ingredient in the story of Duran Duran. Later I became journalist and writer and music critic, and I started to study the saga, the franchise of 007, and in large part thanks to A View to a Kill, I started to work on a book which was published in 2020 and is called 007 Operazione Suono, 007 Mission Sound, for your ears only, and the chapter is totally dedicated to A View to a Kill by Duran Duran. So John, I don't have an Aston Martin, but I have something in common with you, our common passion for 007.
So very lovely comment from Michelangelo, which highlights something very special, because we are today we're not celebrating only 40 years of music, but 40 years of friendship, and it all started with a friendship between two schoolmates, Nick and John, and that they had a vision of what could be their future, and they didn't think that the impact could be so global. So can you say something about this, Roberto, about friendship and music?
I like to think Duran Duran is something different. I mean, in the world there are so many bands, so many artists that make great music, but there are some of them, and especially two, in my opinion, they give some more to people. They give friendship, and I can say they spread love in a way.
So thank you so much, Roberto. It's about spreading love and not only music. I recall a note from I think Simon say that their mission is to make them happy and make other people happy, which is very important thing, which is very much deeper than you can think. And about this, and about even self-expression, I would like to show you the contribution of your bass player, Roberto, Giuseppe Magnaci.
Ciao a tutti, io sono Giuseppe, bassista di Skin Trade, band tributo Duran Duran di Palermo. Ho conosciuto il Duran Duran nell'84 quando ascoltai per la prima volta The Reflex. Il pezzo è un disco che mi aprì un mondo di suoni, di melodie, di armonie che per me in quel periodo erano del tutto sconosciute. E all'inizio, tentando di riprodurre con una tastierina quei suoni, quelle atmosfere, mi resi conto che avevo trovato il modo per esprimere la mia creatività attraverso la musica, attraverso uno strumento musicale. Passai di lì a poco al basso elettrico, un basso del tutto simile a questo, e da allora il mio modo di esprimermi è attraverso suonare uno strumento musicale. Quindi grazie Duran Duran e grazie alla vostra musica.
This contribution makes me think to when I started to listen to Duran Duran. It was with Reflex, and it was summer 1984. It was like a beginning of my adulthood life in a way. And when I think to Duran Duran, I think to myself as a way to express yourself or to understand a bit better who you are. It was exactly what happened to me. Next video, which is from Marcello, which is a friend of yours, is the co-author of the book of your biography of you did, Christian, of Duran Duran. Yep.
Marcello is a very, very attentive and very peculiar musician, and he writes his own stuff as well.
It's very nice to think how many musicians were in a way hidden, and they just came out just because of listening to Duran Duran music, how they impacted their life when they were young kids. Let's have a look to Marcello's contribution.
It was the summer of 1984, and I was just a little child, listening for the first time the Reflex, directly brought from London. Different words, dreams. Then it would have been the 90s, play music with my friends, anyone out there, the shuffle, sound of thunder, an emotional bass line, magic synthesizer, dance drummer, and the voice at strange perfection in the rhythm, like a shout in the night, self-confidence, different attitudes, sensibility. This is the effect of Duran Duran music on me. So, John, Simon, Nick, Roger, thank you very much.
So this is the lovely contribution from Marcello, which is a schoolmate of Michelangelo that we saw in the previous video.
He said it right, actually, because it's it's more than notes. It can't be just notes. It's more a question of confidence. It opens up a new world. Whatever you hear at the age of 10 and 12, it opens up a new world.
Thank you, Christian. So I think it's time to start to talk to our heroes directly. So I will start with Roberto.
As a drummer, so I have to say to them, no, Roger, you and probably Ringo are my drummer teacher. I really like that.
I like that. I can say the same thing of Simon Le Bon as my English teacher.
And since I'm not only a drummer, but I also compose some pop music. sometimes I dream, about how Nick can you change, you could produce my music, how my music could change. It would be the dream of my life.
Yeah. So thank you so much. It's a very nice thing to hear. We can do the same with Christian now.
Okay, so my special message would be thank you for showing me the dance. Thank you for showing me that anything can be done within the same band, because the height of their fame, when I came into contact with their music, they were trying, to differentiate all of the sounds and the styles, and they opened up new territory for me. And they were very lucky to touch a lot of Italians' hearts in those years, because there was a lot of, consciousness about, this phenomenon in general. It's probably the first time that in Italy people were talking about youth again, and that was also because of the social phenomena like Duran Duran.
Yes, indeed. So personally, the drive that I had to learn English was really related to Duran Duran in my life somehow. And the same about the interest of traveling to see the concerts. I just took the suitcase one afternoon and say, guys, I'm going to Rome because I'm seeing a concert with Duran Duran. And my parents didn't want to let me go. And in that specific occasion, I met Massimo D'Antoni, that we are going to see now.
Ciao a tutti, sono Massimo D'Antoni, sono il tastierista degli Skin Trade Duran Duran Tribute Band. Oggi sono 40 anni esatti dall'uscita di Planet Earth, i miei Duran Duran, la mia band. Sono 38 anni che seguo la loro musica, che ad ogni uscita, ogni loro album è sempre un momento speciale per me. Naturalmente gli album sono accompagnati dagli show, dai concerti, e io devo dire ne ho visti parecchi e voglio continuare a vedermi tanti altri ancora. Non vedo l'ora che esce il nuovo disco, sono in trepidante attesa perché voglio ascoltare questo nuovo percorso lavorativo dei miei Duran Duran. Nel 1987 li ho visti in Italia, li ho visti a Palermo, nella mia città. Spero che questo mio desiderio si avveri prestissimo. Evviva la musica, evviva la mia band, evviva i miei Duran Duran. Grazie di esistere, perché siete il mio percorso musicale da una vita ormai. Grazie e ciao.
So sweet. It's my band. The bond we have with them is very personal. When we talk to them, we talk about our friends. I always consider them some of my oldest friends, maybe my oldest friends, because I started to follow the band when I was 14. Most of us, we started when we were adolescents.
I remember the first tour that Roberto and also our friend Massimo was talking about in '87. That posters on the streets of Italy with just the name, not even a surname, just the name.
Are you right? You're right.
Yeah, and so it was a very specific, I think, marketing move, because they were so popular and so familiar with all of the Italians, not even just young generations. And that was the time where everybody knew their name. And even when they were, Duran Duran were having hosts on television, and if you think about it, it doesn't happen anymore.
My parents, for example, they called them by name and they translate the name. Simon and Simone. My father called him Simone. No, so funny. Exactly. They consider them some friends, family friends.
Another band was had the members called by the name. There was John Paul, George Ringo, and so this is another thing that for me put together the two bands. They make great tunes, great songs, great lyrics, harmonies, and really are great to make simple things. And it's not easy to make simple things.
Yeah, you're right. Because I think they are really able to communicate with everything. So visually, musically, visually, and it's a gift. So thank you so much to both of us, because there are so many interesting topics inside Duran Duran. We closed the whole special with a friend of mine, which I knew because of the Buddhism. I remember a conversation between me and him, and he said, the thing is that Duran Duran can touch the transcendence of every people. That's why we start being fun, and we are fun forever. It's something that is not easy, not even to explain. And so what we are going to see now is the last video of the Pier Paolo, which is a musician. He's a pianist and a keyboard player.
Hi there, this is Pier Paolo Ricci from Rome. I'm a journalist, a writer, a musician as well. As you can see, I'm surrounded by keyboards, synthesizers, gear and stuff. And that's because of you, actually. You are the band that really got me into the music when I was 11 or 12. Still remember the first Duran Duran song I ever listened to was Planet Earth. And from that moment on, everything changed. So I'd like to express my deep gratitude to all you guys, you are the men that truly pushed me to make music, to learn music, to play in bands. And I'd like to say a very special thank to Mr. Nick Rhodes, because you are true inspiration to me. You have always been, and you still are, and in this sort of control rooms. And I know that you can understand Italian, so I just want to say grazie di cuore with all my heart to you all, guys. I really love you. A big hug from Rome.
Wonderful, Pier Paolo. So nice. He says, I think, most of the things, because everything we can say to them, it comes directly from our hearts. If I ask you what's your favorite song, pick up just one, what would you say?
But I guess it has to be Ordinary World.
It has to be. Why has to be?
The song that was there for me, whereas all the other songs were, just thrown at me.
Okay.
So it's, and nobody ever believed that they could come back with such a...
Oh, you're right.
Statement.
You're right. You're right. Was a surprise even for them.
Yeah, it was a surprise hit, and obviously everybody loved the song, but you could never guess, the market and the marketing and how they were perceived. But then they chose to be very simple about it, and it was also the song that was in tune with the times. And it's one of those rare moments where the song talks about the people who had made it and the people who are listening to it. So it's such a special song. I guess it's also an important song because it showed that they were not like an 80s band anymore. They were, accepted into the next phase of their career. So probably if we're talking about Duran Duran now, it's also because of Ordinary World.
Yeah. It was the second wave for them, the second unexpected, completely in a different way. So the song, thank you, Christian. The song for you, Roberto. Just the title.
Just one. If I have to choose one, Ordinary World as well for me.
Oh, really?
Yes, because first of all, I really enjoy to play.
Okay.
It's just blown my mind. I was sad because they didn't have success with Liberty album, and I really liked the album. And lots of people start to think that they were finished, and I said, why? It's a great album. And then they come back with Ordinary World, and was a kind of revenge of myself against other people that were thinking they were finished. So it was.
So yours is Ordinary World too, for the same reason. Because it's not easy to be a Duran Duran fan, because you need to go against preconceptions. So I need to say mine. I know you're not asking, but I would say that mine is and will be always. If they ask me one, I I need to choose the chauffeur. I remember I mentioned this to Nick and said, did you realize that you wrote a masterpiece and you were not even 20? And he was so surprised, so embarrassed of receiving this compliment from me. It's very bizarre because I think, okay, with a long career, you're so used to compliments. So it says a lot about them because they remain a bit very grounded, if you think, down to earth, and notwithstanding they have a global success. And so, guys, I think we could really talk about Duran Duran forever, but we need to stop now. So I need to thank you really so much from the bottom of my heart. Ciao, Christian. Ciao, Roberto. Thank you so much, and see you soon. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
There is nothing else I want to do in life. It's rock and roll.
That's it? It's rock and roll?
Yeah, it's rock and roll.
We got the sound that we all love out of it. This is our signature.
Less drugs, less drugs?
I guess, I don't know. You tell me.